Hi YouTube, Brian James here on my path to Paphos. For those of you who don't know, I'm a dual national Irishman cum Brit who's moved across on a permanent basis to the beautiful island of Cyprus and to the city of Paphos in April 2025. Now if you're coming across here as a solo traveller, either for a short or medium term journey, or maybe even permanently, you maybe want to know a little bit more about what makes Cyprus attractive to a solo traveller, to make them want to come across here and make them feel interested in coming. But before I go on to that, so keep watching for them, before I go on to that, 70% of my viewers on this channel are not subscribers. Subscribing costs you nothing, it commits you to nothing, but it makes such a big difference on how YouTube perceives this channel and how it puts out more people to see the videos. So if you can, do me a favour, when you go have a look downstairs, you'll find that there's a subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button, give me a big thumbs up, and also tick the all when you press on the bell icon below to get notifications of every time I upload a video. It makes a huge difference to the channel. Anyway, let's have a look at some of the reasons a solo traveller might want to come across to Cyprus for a holiday. Well, first of all, it's the safety of the place. It's constantly in the top 5 of the safest countries in the world. It's one of those places where you feel very, very comfortable, very safe. There's not much crime here. Obviously there is some crime. Nowhere's got no crime. But in comparison to most other countries in the world, the crime rate is incredibly small. There are very, very few issues with people being attacked like you get in some of the other major countries or major cities of country. Over here, it is a very, very safe, very, very comfortable place with incredibly low crime. So if you're going to come across here, either as a solo traveller, as a male or a female or whatever, you're going to feel safe, you're going to be safe over here. And that makes it an awful lot nicer and an awful lot more attractive to come across here as a solo traveller to Cyprus. The other thing is you're going to have warm weather all the year round. Now at the moment it's the height of summer, it's about 40, 41 degrees here, and it's high humidity. But even in the winter months, it usually doesn't go down below about 15 or 16 degrees centigrade. And although we do get some rain in the winter months, it tends not to be particularly bad. You occasionally get the odd torrential downpour, but nothing like you get in most of the Western countries. So it's a very, very comfortable environment even in the winter. Usually in the winter I'm still walking around maybe with a fleece on, but usually t-shirts, quite often shorts, and I'm usually sitting outside as I eat. Very rarely do I sit inside. So it's a really welcoming place weather-wise. It can get a bit overbearing in the summer, and it's worth being aware of the fact that you need to take some special precautions about making sure you're properly hydrated and wearing sun hats and things like that. It is very, very hot in summer, but it's a wonderful place too. And if you're coming across here on your own, one of the things that you're going to be really worried about is healthcare, because you're going to come to another country. What happens if you do need healthcare, if you take ill, or if you have an accident? Well, if you watch some of my other videos, you'll see that I've just gone through a healthcare scare, and the healthcare over here has been absolutely fantastic. There are pharmacies and chemists all over the place if you need non-prescription drugs, but if you need anything more than that, there are lots and lots of doctor surgeries with excellent qualified doctors, unbelievable cleanliness, unbelievable staff attentiveness, and incredibly quick turnaround time. So if you go in somewhere, it's not like in the UK where you can get be sent away for hours or days or weeks even before you get seen. Here you get seen very, very quickly. Now it is worth saying, make sure you have good travel insurance, because it can get very expensive over here. You're paying for what you get medical wise, but the medical services over here I think are second to none. Absolutely superb and far better than we're used to at home. Now the other thing that you're going to worry about is being able to communicate with people, and it's a very multicultural society over here. Now I'm on the south side of the island, the Greek speaking side of the island, so I don't talk about the north at all. This is all to do with South Cyprus, southern Cyprus, but English is the standard second language for most Greek-speaking Cypriots. So it's very, very widely spoken, but also it's a very multicultural society with people from all over the world coming here. And again, English tends to be the common language across them. So as an English speaker yourself, you're going to find it incredibly easy to communicate with almost anyone over here. In fact, I find it quite difficult to communicate in Greek, purely for the fact that everyone wants to speak English back to me. so I don't do any of my learning. So if you can speak English, you've got no communication problems over here. Maybe if you go up into the hills, into some of the older villages, a lot of the older Cypriots do struggle with English. So there you might have some problem, but if you use something like Google Translate or something like that, you can get a good conversation with almost anyone. Now it's got some very British traits as well, and two of those traits are, first of all, the plugs and sockets, exactly the same as in the UK. So if you bring your favourite hairdryer or hair straighteners or your chargers for your iPhone or whatever, the normal G-type plugs and sockets that we have in the UK are the standard over here too. And the other very British trait is, if you come across here, they drive on the left-hand side of the road, the same as we do in the UK and Ireland. So there's no problem. You don't need to be taking an international driving licence, anything like that. Your normal British driving licence is accepted over here without any problem at all, and you can hire cars straight from the airport or whatever, and it's very, very easy driving. It's not difficult to drive over here because everything's the same as normal for the UK. It's worth, I did a video on this again, have a look at my past videos, very tongue-in-cheek look at the driving, but the driving is very straightforward, very easy and very enjoyable. Now what I really like about here is the laid-back atmosphere, because it's so safe, because it's so welcoming. The atmosphere is very, very geared to coming across and just chilling, enjoying yourself. Now, if you don't worry about going into something like a restaurant or a cafe on your own, an awful lot of people will do that over here. It's a very common practice, and it's totally accepted. People come over here, they'll sit in their iPads, sit in their phones, or they'll sit and people watch and just take in the weather, take in the enjoyment, just have a nice drink, have a nice something to eat, and they'll just enjoy themselves like that. There's no problem whatsoever on that. It's got a very vibrant cafe culture too, so if you do enjoy going out and just sitting in the cafes and people watching, the cafe culture, I mean, I'm in a cafe in the road, Kings Avenue Mall here. I love coming up here because I can watch over the roundabout, watch over the top of the city here, and just enjoy it. Nobody cares, nobody gets in your way. It's a very, very welcoming atmosphere. Now the other thing as well with that, of course, is you'll probably be wanting to use your mobile devices. Well, the good news on that as well is that there's 5G almost everywhere throughout the main city areas throughout the island. So if you go into any of the main resorts, any of the main city areas, you're going to have 5G. But almost every establishment, whether it be a cafe or a restaurant or a bar, will have its own Wi-Fi as well, and they're usually very, very happy to let you know what how to log on to that. And I mean, quite often I'll be sitting here talking to my family at home on Messenger or FaceTime, using up the bandwidth on that, having wonderful connectivity, very, very fast Wi-Fi, being able to talk to my family no problem. Or for me, doing my YouTube videos, being able to do edit and then upload my videos, there's no problem. It's fast connectivity. I don't have to wait hours to do it. It's easy, it's straightforward, and it's on tap. Now, while you're in the restaurants or the cafes, you'll find that the cost of living over here is nice and inexpensive. It's cheaper than the UK. If you want to go out for a meal, if you want to go out for a drink, and just relax and enjoy yourself, it's cheaper to do. And the accommodation over here, I think, is absolutely fantastic. Get an Airbnb, or if you want to go to a hostel, or if you're going to go even to a boutique hotel, they are considerably better value for money than in the UK, so there's lots of places. And again, if you are travelling solo, knowing that there is solo accommodation available all over the place is really, really comforting, because you don't have to worry. You can come across here and you can get somewhere really quick, really inexpensive, and really good value for money. And usually it's spotlessly clean and wonderfully cared for. Now if you're travelling, you want to travel around the place, then Cyprus is ideal for you as a solo traveller. If you get up into the hills for hiking are great. You can walk easily on the roads are safe for you to hike on, and there are all sorts of paths and things around the place for you to go up into. So if you are going up into the hills hiking, there's an awful lot of opportunity for you there. Unfortunately, public transport isn't terrific up there, but you can get to where you need to start and finish from easy enough. But also the terrain itself is very, very welcoming. Just make sure you take enough water and enough rations and things with you. So if you do go hiking, you don't get the nasty, horrible sunstroke or anything like that. It is a very hot country at times, but it is a wonderfully rewarding one. If you like things closer to home, then the history and the culture is on tap here. There are loads and loads of archaeological digs from Curian, cross over to here to the tombs of the kings. Loads and loads of places that you can go to. There's a big archaeological dig in Paphos, which uncovering a lot of mosaics, and that's a live dig. Costs you almost nothing to get in there, and really, really interesting. It can be a wonderful day out just seeing about the history and the archaeology of the country, and it's all there on tap. lots of it. Now, I said about public transport before, there is good public transport between all the cities and in the areas connecting all the major places. So if you want to get between one of the resorts and you want to get to the city, a city centre, there is good public transport. It's inexpensive, about €2 a trip, or about €6.50 for a complete day pass. You can get longer passes if the public transport's there. But also if you want to get a car hire, again, because we drive on the left-hand side of the road here, car hire is straightforward and easy, and it's relatively inexpensive. And it's very, very easy to get into the car hire and to go off into some of the more remote areas and thoroughly take in and thoroughly enjoy the pleasures of the island of Cyprus. Now, if you're into the beach life, then there are some fabulous beaches, whether it's all the way from the east side at Nissi Beach at Napa, coming across past Limassol, and then you get to Coral Bay on the west at Paphos. There are some beautiful beaches, and they tend to be amongst the safest and cleanest beaches in Europe, always winning awards for the cleanliness, always winning awards for being some of the best beaches in Europe. So it is a wonderful place. If you're a beach bum and you enjoy your beach lifestyle or the water sports lifestyle, Cyprus is definitely a place for you. Now finally, before I back in this, I've got one more bonus thing in a second which I'm going to tell you about, but as I said at the beginning, if you do get the chance, hit the subscribe button below, give me a thumbs up, and also tick the little notification bell to get notifications of every time I upload a video. It costs you nothing to subscribe, and about 70% of my viewers aren't subscribers, so what are you waiting for? You're doing me a big favour by doing that. Also, if you would like to give a bit of support to the channel, you'll have seen that as a QR code which has been up there. That takes you direct to my Buy Me a Coffee page, buymeacoffee.com/brianjames. QR code will take you there, but there's also a direct link down below. Or you can hit a super thanks if you'd like to give me a donation via YouTube itself. All the donations help keep this channel active and going, so I can bring you more and more information like this to make your trip to Paphos super special. Anyway, final thing, it's about the people, it's about the way that people are welcoming over here. I've said about the cafe culture, I've said about the safety, but in that cafe culture and that safety and that restaurant culture comes a wonderfully rich set of people who are only too pleased to see you on the island. So if you do see people, don't be afraid to strike up a conversation. If you can learn a little bit of Greek, it's even better just to say kalimera, kalispera for hello, or echaristo for thank you. If you can do that, the people are very warm-hearted. They'll take you to the hearts, they'll take you in, and it is a very, very friendly culture. But even if it's not the Greek Cypriot, there are so many people from so many areas over here who are only too pleased to mix, because it's such a safe environment that people feel comfortable talking to each other. People feel comfortable mixing. So if you do come across here, don't be afraid to say hello to total strangers and strike up a really interesting conversation with them. I promise you'll enjoy it. Anyway, till the next time, thanks, is Brian on my path to Paphos. I hope you have a wonderful path to Paphos yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.